Conjuring 2, directed by James Wan, starring Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. The first hour of the movie is split into two stories. One is the Warrens as they come off the investigation of the Amityville story, um, and the other side of the story is the events surrounding Enfield and the Hodgson family. The main girl, Janet, played by Madison Wolfe, was fantastic. Uh, I thought she did a really good job, and it it was more interesting. The Enfield stuff was more interesting than the Warren stuff, which I feel like in the first Conjuring, you need to set up the Warrens and kind of establish who they are and be like, it's Patrick Wilson, look, it's Vera Farmiga, and here's what they do, and they've got a creepy death room in their house, and here's a fucking creepy doll. Uh, where you don't need to do that in the second one. It's just kind of appears. They show up, and you're basically supposed to be like, hey, remember them? They're still doing the same stuff, except for now they're more famous, and maybe they don't want to keep doing this. So the Warren stuff wasn't the most interesting stuff to start with. The longer it went, like they the stories cross paths at about the hour mark, and it it's fine. It becomes less interesting, but the whole possession stuff and the haunted house stuff in Enfield was really good. Uh, the house was amazing. It felt like a character in its own, and m- most of the kids did all right, even though they're barely in it. Which I felt like was the same way with the first Conjuring. Like there was a bunch of kids in the house, but you barely saw them, or it was just them in bed sleeping. Uh, a lot of the ghost stuff is really creepy. There's two like spirits throughout the movie. One is a really creepy fucking nun, which I thought was fucking fantastic. There was an amazing scene where Vera Farmiga's character like goes into this room and there's a painting that Ed had painted of this creepy as fuck nun, and like she looks at it and she's kind of like checking it out and something seems off, and then the light switches off, and the the face of the nun is staring back at her, but it looks realer. It's got more like depth to it. And then the lights turn off and it goes back to normal. And I thought that was fucking fantastic. It freaked me out. It was great. And I fucking hate that nun. Like I heard when the movie was coming out that they were gonna do a standalone movie, kind of like they did with Annabelle, uh, which I didn't watch because I don't give a shit about fucking Annabelle, and like I'll just kick the fucking doll. Uh, but when they announced the nun, not having seen the movie, I was like, all right, whatever. The fucking nun, yeah, that's creepy. And watching the movie now, I'm down for that fucking movie because that thing was creepy as fuck. And the second ghost is an old man named Bill Wilkins, and uh, he's just an old man. Like he's just fucking grouchy and crotchety, and he fucking is causing all this shit, and he's harassing Enfield, which it's interesting. Two stories, which as I was watching it, I didn't think they'd be able. Like I just felt like it was two stories. I didn't know if they would cross paths or connect in any way. I just kind of felt like it was a way to pad out the story and make it feel a little longer, which it's already long enough. I think it's 2 hours and 12 minutes, which is long, especially for a horror movie. But it's more of a drama with like creepy horror stuff in it. So at about the hour mark, when the Warrens finally are sent by the church, Justice League style, to head to Enfield and investigate the family. And like it's a single mom with four kids. The father left, so they're alone, and the Warrens are supposed to go and make sure it's a legitimate case, and like they're investigating. Like basically, the Warrens are there to see if the church can help them. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga show up, and it was cool. For some reason, Patrick Wilson decided that he was going to play guitar and sing some Elvis, and he basically decided that he was going to fix their whole house. Their house was kind of jacked up, and he's fucking fixing the sink, and he's like, it's really weird because he's supposed to be investigating mixtures of ghosts. He's just kind of fucking handymaning it up, but it's fine. I like Patrick Wilson, even though most of the time he's just playing Patrick Wilson in a different shirt. I'm a big fan of Insidious, which James Wan also directed, and Patrick Wilson's good in that. Uh, Vera Farmiga, like she's good. She's one of the better people in the movie. Uh, they do stuff with her where she goes into this like dreamscape and wanders around, kind of like Insidious did, uh, and she can kind of see like kind of the past or like the other timeline world where this ghost is, and this stuff is all cool. Janet Hodgson, the main little girl, played by Madison Wolfe, was fucking awesome. I was really surprised at how good she was. You know, I never expect kid actors to be any good, or they're either really good or they're kind of underwhelming. Like the other three kids were whatever, they weren't great. They're barely in it. One kid showed up halfway through the movie, and I was like, I had no idea who the fuck this kid was. I was like, what the fuck? Who's this kid, and why is he trying to go after this ghost? Like that doesn't seem like a great plan. But she's great. A really big fan. Then I look it up, going, wow, I wonder what shows this little girl has been in. I love British TV. Maybe I've seen her in some things, and she's from America, so that was really interesting. Kind of caught me off guard. Uh, but she was really good. Madison Wolfe, big surprise. It's just James Wan, good. Like I like it about the same as the first Conjuring, which is, it's not perfect, but I definitely like to see another one. Like it feels like a connecting movie because it is the same fucking people. James Wan, he's great at setting up a shot and like framing the scene. Like it's fucking amazing. Like I can't wait for his Aquaman just to see what the fuck he does with Aquaman. Like how's he gonna frame that? It's gonna be fucking coral and shit because it looks great. The lighting is good. Mostly, it does kind of feel like they're on a set. Sometimes like the lighting isn't quite right. It's not quite dark enough. It's bright, but it's good. They do another great thing, which I really enjoyed, was as the movie progresses, the seasons change and it becomes winter, like as they go farther in, which I really enjoyed. I thought it gave the passage of time like a really nice like visual. Uh, Also, the ending was good. It was fine. Like I didn't see it coming. There's a pretty good moment where they tie in the first two stories of the creepy ghost nun and fucking old man ghost, which made sense and it worked for the most part. Like I, uh, it makes sense in the story. I get it. Like it's cool, but it kind of felt like uh, forcing it and like, hey, like it's supposed to be. You think it's this thing, but it's actually this thing, or is it? And that's cool, I guess. Uh, but I felt like it could have been better. It could have been more like focused, but it worked. I don't know anything about like the real life Warrens, so I don't know how like what happened to them or like what when this takes place. Is this their last case? The middle case? Do they do a bunch of cases after this? Which kind of takes away the tension of certain characters when you like you think that they're like you expect them to live and they're trying to make it tense by being like, oh, are they gonna live? Is this ghost gonna kill them? And I'm watching it like, yeah, probably because I know they're making a sequel to this. So that kind of takes the tension away from it. Uh, but it worked. I enjoyed it. I still think I like the first Insidious better, just because it felt more colorful and kind of like it felt like a graphic novel kind of, and not just because their version of the dreamscape world was a fog machine and a bunch of crazy shit. But I did like the goat demon in Insidious more, uh, a little bit more than the nun. The nun is pretty fucking creepy. And as I was watching the movie, I remember from the first movie that the Warrens they have a daughter who they leave alone all the time. They never explain who the fuck watches her, And for in their house, they've got a room filled with cursed items and like haunted shit that I'm sitting there watching it like, I wonder if they have this fucking room, like the horrible death curse room. Probably get rid of that, like fucking burn it or whatever. Get rid of it. Call Sam and Dean from Supernatural and tell them to fucking kill Annabelle. And they don't show it for the most part of the movie. And then right at the end, they go fucking Patrick Wilson walks into the death room and it's still there, fucking haunting, like just right in their house, you know, not like let's just have a fucking murder room filled with all this creepy shit, feet away from where our daughter sleeps. Great, great fucking idea. Great, like good work, fantastic. Uh, but I, I enjoyed it. Uh, James Wan, good. Patrick Wilson, fine. Can't like dude just looks handsome as fuck. He's got sideburns, hair now hanging out. He's basically got his night owl hair from Watchmen, which is still a little bit of poofy up. Uh, Vera Farmiga. I don't watch Bates Motel, but she seems fine. Uh, she's good. The two do feel like the characters. Like it feels like when I'm watching it, for the most part, I feel like I'm watching Ed and Lorraine. Every once in a while, I feel like I'm watching Patrick Wilson be a fucking weirdo. It doesn't hurt it. And I think one of the only reasons why I'll put Conjuring 2 above 1 was just the setting. Like I don't like I like England and I find that more interesting than the first one. Like I don't give a fuck about the first. Like it just it feels like every other like horror movie like setting. Like I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. Room for improvement. There's some stuff that kind of bugged me. It's really hard. I couldn't decide if I wanted it was a 9 or an 8, and I think just the fact that it didn't feel as tight as I wanted it to be, um, give it an 8. But if you like the first one or like any like ghost and creepy stuff, and like if you're just a fan of James Wan, it's worth watching. But yeah, 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. Uh, I look forward to Aquaman. That's gonna be like really good, and hopefully he returns for Conjuring 3. That would be really good. I really enjoy that. I don't know where you do with the setting. Maybe the West Coast. Do some stuff with that. That'd be cool. The U.S. Uh, but yeah, Conjuring 2, 8 out of 10. Check it out. Bye.